HD2 Manassas and WPGC HD3 Morningside. This is CBS Sports Radio.
All right, welcome everybody. We're doing our show today from the studios in Titletown.
Titletown? What, you guys win a football game or something?
Titletown, home of the world champion Baltimore Ravens, whose championship run was triggered, believe it or not, by a loss to the Washington Redskins.
Hail to the Redskins.
How strange is that? That's 2 times in a row, Wayne, that when the Ravens won the Super Bowl the same year, they lost to the Redskins in Washington.
I guess I'm happy to help, but one of these years I'd like to flip that around.
Well, you never know. It could be sooner than later. I sure hope RG3 gets better quick. This is Bruce Posner. You're listening to Kelly and Associates Insurance Group TerpTalk on this Saturday morning and every Saturday morning here on 1580 and CBS Sports Radio. Well, that was last week, and we'll talk a little about the New Orleans experience later on, but let's get down to the Terrapin experience. Last night at the Legends Museum near Camden Yards, where I'm sure everybody in the audience has seen or most have been to, it was Terp Talk night. First it was Terp Talk, then Oriole Talk, and then some Ravens talk, and O.J. Brigance was honored, and what a touching moment it was when he was honored. He has just been the inspiration of the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, for those listening in Washington, what's the O.J. Brigance backstory? What?
O.J. Brigance was a member of the 2000
Super Bowl
champion Ravens team, and then progressively he became a victim of I guess it's ALS,
right?
Better known as Lou Gehrig's disease, and this was a physical specimen when he played football, and as time went on, his body slowly and everything about it wore away, where he's in a wheelchair now and he can't speak. But rather than give in, he fought and uses computers today to actually speak. It's the most, and speak in just an incredible, intelligent, instructive, advisive tone, where he assists the players, and he's always at practice, and he talks to them afterwards, talks to them before the game through a computer. And looking at OJ, no human being could ever feel sorry for themselves when you look how this guy has made such a life out of the bad fate that he was dealt with Lou Gehrig's disease. I know, Wayne, you were fascinated by it, and I was with him last night, and he doesn't, my son was with him when he was back. He goes all the way back to the Baltimore Stallions in the CFL. So he went from the Stallions, when they won a championship, played for the Dolphins for a little bit, came back as a special teams member, made the first tackle in Super Bowl 35, and then still was an integral part. And he's an integral part when they showed the locker room. He's there. He's a part of it.
Yeah, it's amazing. You said he's eloquent. He's eloquent, speaking with
That
his
is the
eyes.
perfect word that I used 8 words to describe. He gave a speech last night, talking about the Ravens and the win, and and how much he appreciated the recognition. That was beyond elegant, and I don't know how it was coming up, but it did.
Yeah, he picks words. The computer sees the pupil of his eye, and as he moves his eye across the screen, when his eye rests on a word, it speaks apparently in his voice.
How does it do in his voice? That's
they
what
recorded. They have you read books and newspapers in your voice, and then they align the word with your voice, and they keep that in the computer forever. So even though he can't speak, you're hearing a recording of his voice from a couple of years ago.
Wow. So it's a very inspiring story, and even Ray Lewis said that he looked to him for inspiration all the time. All right, let's move on to the Terps. This is Terp Talk. Super Bowl's over.
It's still Ravens talk. We're going to move on to Terp Talk?
Yeah, we're going to move on to Terp Talk. Ravens Talk is almost done for the day, because I got a great Ray Lewis story to tell. But anyway, last night at the Legends Museum, we had Laura Watton, we had John Tillman, head coach of lacrosse team, of course Laura's the coach of the softball team, and also Brian Rowland, who's one of the assistants to Sasha Sarofsky, and Jonathan Claiborne. And we had a forum where we talked about the move to the Big Ten and how it would affect everyone. And of course, John Tillman talked about the potentiality of Hopkins coming into the lacrosse conference. And apparently, it could be closer than we think. Could be very close, because Petromalo's in favor of it, from what he said.
Right, that's the head coach at Hopkins.
Head coach at Johns Hopkins, our arch rival. But you know, our arch rival in our conference would be super, because number one, you could arguably say that it would become the best conference in lacrosse as Johns Hopkins joins, because Johns Hopkins is a perennial top 5 team, and so is Maryland. So what do you have there? You have two of the certainly top 10 teams every year.
Right, it wouldn't hurt as much. I mean, you'll leave Duke and Carolina and Virginia.
And also when you consider that, Michigan probably has a $6 million lacrosse budget. How long's it going to take for them to get on top?
Not very long.
Not very long at all. So we talked about that, and I teased John about winning the national championship, that it's been 38 years, and Jonathan Claiborne talked a lot about the quarterback situation. And of course, we had a chance to talk with C.J. Brown the other night, and boy, that kid is in such great spirits. He's such a great kid.
Yeah, he seems he's smooth, well-spoken. He's a guy that you'd hire for a real job. I mean,
Yeah,
he's got it.
it's just somebody when you meet you like, and he never really lamented about his attitude, and he's not fully recovered yet, which disappointed me a little bit, but the timetable is there to return this year.
Right, and he talked about how they put his knee back together, and that he's running, but they're still watching it, and they're looking for swelling, so he'll get back.
Randy said Thursday night, Randy was on my show in Baltimore, and Randy said that they're going to let him start doing 7-on-7s, which is now a big thing among the college players.
Well, the passing drills can only help, because CJ, when I met him, I'd still refer to him as the fastest quarterback in captivity.
Yeah.
Because that guy can move it. The weakness there was throwing it. So if he's working on 7-on-7 passing drills, it can only help his accuracy when he gets back on the field.